Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Maize Madman. Today we have things to discuss, but first make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know every time we do a video. Also leave your comments in the comment section. It's that easy. Back to the things we need to discuss. Michigan had some 4-star recruits on campus this weekend and from the 2024 class. We're going to discuss how the visits went, who handled the visits, and what we can expect. Plus, I've got a different analysis on the Jim Harbaugh fiasco, if you will, and it could be a good thing for the University of Michigan. I'll discuss it later. All that plus, Michigan received a lot of good news about returning players for the 2023 season, and I'm upset Stroud decided to declare for the NFL draft. That just makes it a less guaranteed win for us. It's disrespect. I'm gonna tell him why I'm mad. That filthy, disgusting, cesspool-laden campus in Columbus is losing a valuable member of the Michigan Wolverines roster. I know you're thinking, how is the other state losing a Michigan player? And I'm going to explain. Stroud, all world, right? Like all galaxy, top 5 pick in the upcoming 2023 NFL draft, has decided he's going to do just that. Enter the NFL draft and leave the other state behind, which is great, I guess, for him on a personal level. I'm sure he dreamt about playing in the NFL, not that I care that much. But what I do care about is his 0-2 record against the Wolverines. He was basically playing for both teams. He plays for both of us. Anytime he's in Ann Arbor or we're in Columbus, he's our quarterback just as much as he was their quarterback. Here's to losing that dual threat. He's a dual threat. He makes us a triple threat because JJ's a dual threat, and then you got CJ, who also played quarterback for Michigan. Anyway, let's get to what we came here for. Michigan hosted 3 4-star recruits over the weekend in what was an intimate setting of a sort of junior day, if you will. That included Michigan native and Harper Woods safety Jacob Oden. It included Cleveland, Ohio's Bryce West and Jordan Marshall from Cincinnati, Ohio. So that's 2 more Ohio recruits and a homer. And Steve Klinkscale apparently did a great job with those defensive recruits in Jacob Oden and Bryce West. Apparently their families were together during much of the recruiting, after which Jacob Oden's father spoke with TMI. I'm sorry, with the Wolverine. I apologize. And he explained how the visit went. He said it was very intimate, to where they had the whole facility to themselves, being able to meet the family of Bryce West. And Klinkscale put the young men together because they've become pretty good friends off the field over the course of the last year or two. He also went on to say that Klinkscale kind of rolled out the defensive scheme that both players would be playing in, doing both board work and video work with the 2 recruits. Also, he kind of gave some assurances, a little, if you will, on Jim Harbaugh's return, but mostly focused on the recruits, which is a great thing. You saw the pictures, and we'll post them here, of the 2 recruits, Bryce West and Jacob Oden, at the Wolverines basketball game in that win over Northwestern, which was much needed after such a heartbreaking loss the game before that. So this is encouraging news as well. In addition to Jacob Oden and Bryce West, Michigan also had 4-star on 300 running back Jordan Marshall, who goes to Cincinnati Moeller And he also had a great experience, saying basically that he likes what Michigan is doing, especially at the running back spot, and looks forward to more from Michigan. So Michigan hosting 3 4-star recruits in the 2024 class is an excellent start. And we'll see how Michigan closes with all of those recruits going forward. That being said, the Wolverine caught up with Bryce West from Cleveland. He had this to say about Coach Clinkscale. Being around Coach Clink was amazing. He's not one of those coaches who you always have to talk about football to. You can talk to him about anything, and he always welcomes me with open arms. On Sunday, which is one of the days he was there, he welcomed me and my family with open arms and introduced me to his family and friends. Michigan had a very outstanding season, West went on to say, winning all of their regular season games. I saw it coming because earlier before the season, I was in A2 watching them grind. They attack every day with passion and were hungry. I believe they should have been in the national championship. You are not alone in that belief, Mr. West, but I digress. Now let's get really quickly into something I wanted to speak on in reference to Jim Harbaugh and why this process has probably been drug out, in my opinion. I want to preface that this is my opinion. Don't take this to the bank. However, I do think it's pretty educated in its roots, if you will. It is my belief that Jim Harbaugh will be back coaching the Wolverines in 2023 and beyond. I do think that making him one of, if not the highest paid coach in college football, is an issue, and it should be addressed, and he deserves to be in that class. I also think getting more money for his assistant coaches in the coaching pool is very important. I believe that as well. I believe that is part of the hang-up. I also don't want to go too hard on Ward Emanuel, because I like what Ward, at least through the reports, is trying to do, right? And that's trying to secure the future of Michigan football by, in essence, securing Jim Harbaugh long term. And one of those sticking points was Jim signing a contract that allowed Michigan sort of a safety net of it, making it harder for Jim to get out of the contract, in the sense of another, like an NFL team wanting Jim's services, they made to make the buyout higher. And I'm okay with that. I don't know, like, I know that there's a good swath of the fan base that is anti-Ward Emanuel at this point, and I understand that too. I'm not giving Ward a pass either. However, making a higher buyout, I understand, and I am on the side of that as well, because I don't want to be in this situation every year going forward. I don't think it's good for recruiting and other factors. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because I do think that part of what Jim is doing is for recruiting, and not in the sense of, he's getting, some positive light being shed on him because of what he's doing now, because I don't believe that. I do believe that in the immediate, it is hurting recruiting, right? In the long term, though, this could really help recruiting, because I think part of the reason of this thing being drug out, in addition to the money for himself and for his coaches, is also for things like NIL. I think Jim understands NIL. He saw this coming. Jim was one of the first coaches to embrace NIL. He understood that players deserved to be compensated on some levels. So I believe that part of it is NIL and Michigan's inability, or their lack of getting it done, if you will, on the NIL front. In addition to NIL, another thing that is big throughout college football are the facilities. And I do understand that Michigan has spent a lot of money on upgrading facilities, including Schembechler Hall. They have the largest athletic weight room in the country. I understand that. The thing is, it is not exclusive to the football team, that weight room. And I'm not even saying that really matters, or that they should change that around. However, If you look at programs like Clemson, you look at programs like Oklahoma, look at programs like even Colorado, for instance, right? Colorado, their facilities are on par with Michigan's, if you will, and in some cases better than Michigan's. And that I just don't understand. Michigan's alumni base is one of the top 3-4 in the country. So there's really no excuse for that. And that needs to be addressed. And I think that Jim Harbaugh understands that that needs to be addressed. Jim Harbaugh understands that he's already at a disadvantage in terms of the requirements academically at Michigan, and the fact that it's really the northernmost powerhouse in the country, even further north than a Notre Dame. So when you have all of these things going against you, you cannot then have things like NIL or facilities holding you back. And I do think Jim understands that. And in order for Michigan to continue to compete at a high level and even reach greater heights, these are the things that need to be addressed. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you think what I'm saying makes any sense. If you disagree, let me know. But these are just some of the things that I kick around when thinking and talking about this. On a brighter note, Michigan is bringing back some of their brightest and best on both the offensive and defensive side. That includes Cornelius Johnson on the offensive side. He'll be returning for another year, as well as Blake Corum. Obviously, Blake Corum, the biggest get in terms of returning starters for Michigan. On the defensive side, Chris Jenkins just announced he'll be returning. Keegan and Zinter on the offensive line will be returning, as well as Mike Barrett just recently announced that he would be returning for Michigan. Let me know again in the comment section what you guys think about what I said about Harbaugh. Let me know what you guys think about the recruits, and be ready for another video Wednesday. Follow me on Twitter at Maize Madman. Let me know all of your thoughts there as well. Until next time, I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'm gonna calm down. So I'm gonna calm down, son. I just don't get that all that mace and that lock and all that. I just don't get it, son.